Would you be interested in getting back into management in the Premier League, perhaps, given the current climate? Out of interest?
I would love to, yeah.
You would love to? I mean, West Ham, Pellegrini's under pressure, Everton have no manager.
I think it's great, and it's always, if you go into management, and for myself as well, being a player in the UK, in the Premier League, and going into management, it's a dream to work in the Premier League. You know, and Championship's great to work in as well, you know, but if you can have the opportunity to work in the Premier League, then I would love to do that, of course.
And the good thing is...
It's always the case of do you get that opportunity? Do they believe in you? Do they give you the chance to do it as well? You know, there's always the discussion about foreign managers and experienced managers. You always see, of course, if one manager in the Premier League gets sacked and he goes to another club and he gets sacked there, and this one goes over there. So they keep looking in the same circle basically.
No, but it's the same agents. It's the same agent. Yeah. Some of the people. I mean, we talk about Everton with Silva. I'm going to be honest with you. How's he end up getting the Everton job in the first place? If you look at the Watford, he had one period at the start where they did well. Yeah. They then finished very poorly.
Well, they went in for him, didn't they, when he was at Watford about 6 months into his time there, and the form dropped off a cliff after that. And then he joined, and they had to pay compensation, about £4 million.
And then you look at these... so it's the same managers who, with the agents, who get them to pop into different... I mean, if you look at Alan Pardew, look at the jobs he got, and then people forget.
Yeah, but it's also a matter of belief and giving other managers, and not foreigners or myself, but also other young managers in the UK, like Eddie Howe, for instance, because clubs, and because of the money, and because of results, and the clubs and the owners, they want to have their clubs like ending up as high up the table as possible. They keep looking for managers, with all the respect, who've been working there for years and years and years. You know, so if they make the choice for like a young manager and he's not doing well, and then people are saying, okay, well, I can't believe why you took him. Why are you not going to go for like an experienced manager who's been working there for years and years?
Do you think that's still true right now? Because you look at the usual suspects. Big Sam is not in a job right now. Tony Pulis, Alan Pardew, another name you mentioned. It seems to be a shift now to newer managers.
I think it's very good that there's a shift. There needs to be a shift eventually, with all the respect for the other managers. And I'm not saying they're not allowed to work anymore, of course, you know. But I think there's a lot of young manager or former players who've been playing, English players as well, who've been playing in the Premier League, who need to get the opportunity as well to work in certain teams in the Premier League as well.
I think the one thing that the decision maker at a club does now is when they appoint their head coach or manager, they appoint it on the basis of, if it goes wrong, they have some good evidence as to why it was still the right choice. Yeah?
Yes,
so they've got an alibi almost. So if they appoint somebody kind of very much left field out of the blue, and it goes wrong and they can't justify. But, you know, Marco Silva, for example, you know, he does have an experienced CV. He's coached abroad. He's got a good network of contacts. When he went in at Hull, he did a good job, almost kept them in the Premier League, showed good signs at Watford until it went and became destabilised a little bit, and that was Everton going for him. Will he get another chance? I think he probably will get another chance.
He will do. But then I look at something like, say, take Everton for instance now. Why not go with a Duncan Ferguson? Club legend, so the fans will give him time, right? The spirit the players play, like we're talking about, the team, you know, shows your character. So that's the way they played yesterday is definitely Duncan Ferguson's character. 100%, you know, working for each other, battling. Right, so why not take a chance of just saying, right, OK, we don't know, he's not got no experience at management. So I tell you what, are we in any danger of getting relegated? Why don't we give Dunk a chance to the end of the season and see what he can do? Because otherwise, you're going back to tried and tested. OK, you can bring David Moyes in, and David Moyes will do you a decent job. There's no question about that. But you've brought Sam Allardyce in, who's done a good job for you, nearly got into Europe, but you don't like that style of play. Why not give him? Why not give him a chance?
And Everton still might go for Duncan Ferguson. And actually, they still might go for David Moyes.
You just don't know. And obviously, having a club legend, that's what United have done. That's what Chelsea have done. But out of interest, particularly for you, Jaap, because of your name. I mean, you're one of the most prominent players of the last 30 years, not just in England, but across Europe. Again, I'm not saying it to suck up to you, but there are accusations that Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard if their names weren't so prominent, perhaps they wouldn't be in the position they are now. Do you think your name will help you, or has helped you, or for other players to get a job?
Sometimes it helps, yeah, to get into a certain job, and that's the same with Frank and how it happened with Steven as well. And probably if Klopp is leaving, that Steven Gerrard is going to go in there as a Klopp legend as well. He gets the time as well. He can, well, he is, and he's doing very well at Rangers now in Scotland, of course. And it does, but still, I think you need, as a club, you don't need to look at names all the time. It can help you out, and certain former players, they've got the experience of playing at a certain level, but it doesn't mean that they can make the players or can make the team play better football. So they need to have a look and okay, and what is he doing? Has he got experience? No, he hasn't got experience, but how is he playing with the teams that he's been coaching? Yeah, and how did the players react to him, and how does he like the work, and etc. And then they need to make a choice, basically.
Yeah. I think clubs are looking now as well for something more than just a coach, more than just an excellent ex-player who's a good coach. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm talking about Potter, who's gone in at Graham Potter at Brighton Football Club. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, he played professional football at a modest level, went abroad, been highly successful, been to university, has got a degree in psychology, sports psychology and man management, mm-hmm. something along those lines. You know, he's studied, you know, he's put another string to his bow, as it were. Yes, he's got his pro licence, yes, he's got his playing career and a university mm-hmm. degree aimed specifically at the sport that he now works in.
But interesting what you say about Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard. Steven Gerrard has been coaching and done his coaching badges early. He's been at Liverpool. He's been working with people.
He was in the academy at Liverpool.
Yeah, Frank Lampard. So it's not a surprise to see these two getting jobs. Frank Lampard was already coaching at Chelsea, coaching the kids.
But those are big jobs. I mean, they're massive jobs.
No. He went to Derby. He did really, but he did well. And so when you're in a situation where there's a transfer embargo on, and you've got a lot of young players at the football club that are good, Jody Morris has worked with them, it makes sense to give him a go, you know, and be brave enough to give...
But what about Gerrard, who doesn't have an affiliation of a playing career with Rangers?
No, but I tell you what, that's a clever move by Rangers. What they saw, obviously they did their own work. I mean, I think they must have spoke to Gary Mack, who's Gary Mack's assistant, right? They're being very clever. By Steven Gerrard going there, they get the chance to take Liverpool players on loan of course, to the club and give him a chance. So be brave in this situation, because what you don't want is a circle going around. No disrespect to Tony Pulis, no disrespect to Sam Allardyce, no disrespect to Alan Pardew, but they've had their time and they've gone round the circle. Let's go for the new breed who can bring something different.
No, exactly, I totally agree with that.
See, if I was yourself, Jaap, I would be, you know, boasting the fantastic CV that you have, and the fact that, and I didn't know this until I met you you speak 4 languages. You know, the game is global. So English, Dutch, German, Italian.
That's a huge advantage. It's not about speaking 4 languages. I know where you're going to.
My point is, it's something extra.
But irrespective of that, they should look at the fact that he did an excellent job at Feyenoord, coaching. He took Reading and lost in the playoff finals, right? Which was in a tough league. The chairman then who brought Jaap in has just left now, so circumstances have changed in the football club. So look at what he's done. So therefore, Jaap must be considered for at least another job in the Championship. You would think.
Yeah, of course.
I just have to say
this. And I really hope so, because we've had a chat and it looks like Jaap will probably take me as his assistant. I don't know.
I can be the
We already signed the contracts over here. The 4 of us will go. Adam is going to do the press.
And I'll come in to do the social events.
I just want to say on the topic of language how important it is, because last night I was reading an interview of Claude Puel and he talked about his time at Leicester. He was talking about Vardy, etc. But he did say one of his biggest regrets was not comprehending the language well enough that he could convey what he was thinking to the players. So we can't downplay the fact that you speak 4 languages.
I think you need to, if you go abroad and you go and work for a club abroad, then you need to learn the language. And of course, in certain countries it can be difficult, you know. But if you go to, especially in Europe, if you go to in Spain or England or Germany or whatever, you need to try as well, you know, to speak a little bit that language. So it makes it easier for the players as well. It helps them out, gives them a certain feeling as well that you're making a real effort to make something out of it as well.
Someone like Mourinho speaks, I don't know, how many languages?
Well, I'll give you a funny story just to make it a bit light-hearted. Like I used to room with Gaza. So Gaza signs for Lazio. Did you hear the story about this?
No, I don't know.
So he signs the story. So I said to him, you know, Gaza, when you go, you've got to learn the language. He said, yeah, of course, I think it's going to help me. So I rang him up after a few days. I said, how's it going? He went into the dressing room and he put books down on everybody's things how to speak English.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's smart.
Yeah.
Or you could do a Steve McLaren and just speak with a weird accent.
With a Dutch accent.
It was a Dutch accent, wasn't it? Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because he was in Holland. Yeah.
It was quite amazing to see.